It's hot.
Do you need sugar?
I think so.
Okay. Is it too hot?
No, no.
We've been having a good chat in your absence.
Oh, good. Maybe I've got a soporific effect on Dad.
The comfort of having you there.
Or the boredom of me saying the same thing over and over. What is it, Dad?
I must have.
What kind of family were you born into? Where were you born?
I was born in Paddington Women's Hospital. I went home to school and told everybody I was born in Paddington Men's Hospital. But I lived in Bondi all my life, all my young life, Bondi and Bellevue Hill.
What kind of a place was it back then?
Bondi was just as it is now, only everything's triple the price, at least.
Yeah.
But all small semi-detached houses in Bondi itself.
Was the Bondi Pavilion there when you were little?
Oh yeah.
It's that old?
Still there.
Yeah, okay.
Bondi Pavilion's been there. Well, originally Bondi Beach had two big piers, concrete piers out into the water.
They're not there anymore?
And they blew them up during the war
Oh.
because they thought the Japanese had land and take cover under there. So they blew them up and covered the beach with barbed wire. And they had two guns, one at the end that fired actually, the other one was made of tin foil, making out we had two guns.
Mm.
But the kids used to play, and then Rose Bay Golf Links was covered with anti-aircraft guns. Every now and then they'd have a few shots in the air to prove that they actually worked.
Right.
But the Japanese were expected in 1941, 42. Yeah, I think.
I'm not sure,
I
Dad.
can't
Sometime
think of
around
the
then.
ages. Well, the war started in 1939 in Europe, but 41. I think 41 was Honolulu. What do you call it? Hawaii, wasn't it?
Oh, what, that Pearl Harbor business?
Pearl Harbor.
But,
I think that was 41.
Mm.
But and then I remember going out in the morning one time, and going into Mum and saying, "Oh, we've been attacked last night." I'd gone out on the veranda and I'd seen the searchlights in the air. And she said, "Oh, silly. Go down and get the paper." Came in with the paper and it said, "Bondi shelled." And they'd fired shells over Bondi.
Yeah.
They landed in Bondi, Wallara, Bellevue Hill, Rose Bay, and fired from the mother submarine,
Yeah.
which towed 3 of the, what they call midget submarines, which are quite big actually.
Right.
They just had two people on board, and one was sunk in the harbour. Only one found one recently in outside the Heads.
Did they?
On near Manly somewhere.
Right.
In the last 2 years, I think it was. And then one got back. I think one got back to the mother submarine, but the mother submarine was just firing shots at Bondi.
Yeah.
And one landed in our back street in Simpson Street. And
So 11 or 12 years old you were at the time. That must have been huge for you.
oh, so we thought it was wonderful to have shells flying around. And across the road from our place, in the back street, was a big block of flats which some of their garages have been put together and made into air raid shelter.
Right.
And I was in charge of that. I had all the kids dressed in uniforms and everything. Silly.
Well, as little kids, you probably didn't realise how kind of. You probably didn't realise how scary it really was.
No, I know, it
You
was
thought it was a game. Or were you frightened?
I wasn't frightened, but we put on shows of the night and charged everybody a shilling or 2 shillings, which I think I pocketed. I don't remember what I did with the money, but anyway, all the kids were under my orders. It was quite dramatic.
You were a manager even back then, Dad.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I was born in 1930.
Yeah.
My mum was born in 1908.
Yeah. Were both parents born here? Both parents were born in Australia?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I could still become the Prime Minister. Whether they like it or not.
Still watching the news, I see.
That's
I
great.
wouldn't have any arguments.
Yeah.
But,
You must find it hilarious, all the stuff that's been going on.
oh, it's a joke.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a joke, and they know it too.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing it because there's nothing else to do. They don't realise they've got to be leading a country.
Yeah.
That's their problems.
You've seen a lot of changing of the guard over the years too, haven't you? Governments swapping from one side to another.
Oh yeah. Well, when you think of it, what we've had in the last few years, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 Prime Ministers, 5 Prime Ministers in a couple of years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Should never happen.
Yeah.
What they get to do is settle down to be Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Settle down and do the things that are good for Australia and not worry about whether you're a Catholic or a bloody Muslim or what. Don't worry about it, just go ahead until they start doing that dance. and things might get better. But they're a bit over the wall at the moment. Yeah.
So tell me about the Opportunity School.
I was at Malara in the education department. We were picking kids along the road that were showing to their advantage of showing that they had a know-all.
No?
Probably know-alls. And I was one of them. But the idea was to select children to go to Sydney High School, which was the pick of all the schools at the time.
Right.
I opened up this opportunity class at Wallara. It was the first one. I was a member of that. And the idea is to nurture you on to bigger things. Then by the time we all went to Sydney High, were supposedly educated enough to be the top of the range, you know.
Yeah.
You know, whether that was true or not, I don't know. But most of the ones that went there did very well. But my mother, like her sister, they were a bit jealous of each other, I think. Because her sister and my auntie had sent John, my cousin, to high school at Catholic school at Waverley. And my mother thought she'd do the same. Same she sent me to, one just around the corner in Randwick, which gave good education, but not as good as the opportunity class. I only spent 1 year in the opportunity one.
Yeah.
And it's a pity.
Did you enjoy school?
I didn't mind school. Didn't mind at all, actually.
What did you like about it?
I knew I was learning all the time. I know I was a good listener, and I knew from one day to another that I'd learnt something all the time.
What did they do well back then?
Oh, they made you join into everything. Made everybody interested. I think that's a very important thing, that the class, whatever you're doing, it should be interesting, rather than just saying you've got to learn this. And I think, from what I remember, is the teachers didn't float over a subject. They went right, delve into it all the time.
Yeah. So
that they knew they were teaching something. And I think that's very important. And I believe that somewhere along the line it rubbed off on my 3 children.
Yeah.
Not that they had much to do with me, but still. Even from my mother. My mother's a good student. Well, she had good education too, didn't she? But mainly in England.
Right.
She was Australian, but she went there as a young girl.
She went to a very kind of modern school. She went to a co-educational boarding school called Moncton Wild.
That was co-education in England, yeah. That's down near Dorset. You know, Dorset's the most expensive place to live in England after London.
Is it?
Boris and I used to go and hire boats rowboats, Rushcutters Bay, and they'd row out to the American warships,
Yeah.
and then go alongside, and they'd take us inside and give us chocolates and chips and things, and we'd sit there with them and tell them how to run the war. Have no idea what I taught them. But,
And you were just quite little at this stage.
Oh,
weren't
we're only youngsters who were at school. That would have been first year. First year.
What does first year mean in today's terms?
First year, which is like sixth class
Yeah.
in the primary, then you go into first year.
Okay. Now
And
you'd
that
be
was-
seen as a threat if you rode out to...
Yeah. Oh, well, Dad and Boris, what about when you went into the air base?
No.
Oh yeah, we went out to we got under the fence at Bankstown. No, Bankstown Aerodrome. The two of us are sitting up in the American warplane having a game of it. And
Trying
the
to drive it, weren't you?
Yeah, and the big American bloke with a big gun came in. What are you doing in there? And let us out.
How long did you get away with it?
We were in there for about a quarter of an hour, half an hour. And the Yanks got us out and pushed us under the gate, out and under the fence with the gun behind us.
What about secondary school? What are your memories of that?
I went into that, but it was all under pressure. Because first of all, my mother had no money. It's the wartime business after that, and all kids thought about was soldiering of some sort. You're educated to against the war, and basically that's all that was talked about. I remember every morning or every afternoon I'd be standing on the front veranda over here, and there was the corner of it, I could see the harbour and see the ships going out, and you'd know they were carrying troops. At one time we had the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth, the biggest ships in the world, here to transport Australian troops to Egypt and that. And people don't realise Australia had the biggest contribution of troops of any country for its population. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But included amongst these troops was your own dad. Yes? Your own dad was sent off to war eventually too.
My father,
Yeah.
he had to come round and get my mother to sign. They were separated. Get my mother to sign that she would let him go to the war on $7 a day, 7 shillings a day, to cover. She had to sign it and let him go to the war, otherwise he wasn't allowed to go. And he became a Tobruk rat. And Tobruk was a famous thing for Australia. My mother called him the greatest rat in Tobruk.
Just for anyone who's wondering how much 7 shillings would be now, what do
God,
you reckon it would be?
7 shillings.
What could you buy with it?
Probably a loaf of bread and probably a loaf of bread and a little bit of corned beef or something
Yeah.
on the side. I wouldn't get much, I tell you now.
And at home you had mum, sister, grandmother and aunt and yourself to feed.
Well, I lived with my grandmother most of the time.
Okay.
A lot of sharing, like her other daughter lived round the corner
Yeah.
and her son lived across the road. There's a lot of sharing the food of, you know, if something special's on.
Yeah.
It'd go between the three mothers. The mother, the two daughters, and a lot of sharing went on.
Yeah.
But the kids never worried about it.
Yeah.
All we kept doing is digging holes in the backyard as air raid shelters.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shelter you from a raindrop.
And Dad said he used to sit on a butter box and eat dripping sandwiches. Didn't you, Dad?
Oh yeah.
Teach the kids what dripping is. What is dripping?
Oh, dripping was just the all out of the meat, you know, and you let it go in the ice chest. Nobody had refrigerators, and till it got firm, and then you spread it on. Nobody had any money for butter. You spread it on sandwiches.
So it was just the fat out
It
of
was
the
a
meat.
necessity food.
Well, it was bread and dripping.
Yeah.
Oh, dreadful. We marched out in our new costumes, and the bloke behind me said, "Your costume all right?" I said, "I think it's down near my knees." He said, "I think mine are down near my ankles."
What was it made of?
Well, they were woolen sort of things. They were the same ones they wore for years.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, what is it when you...
I think they were only tacked together.
Yeah, you sew something on and it's only just temporary.
Yeah.
And what happened is we had to get them on quickly because we were in the march past. And I remember mine felt a bit loose, but his were looser. But I don't know whether the pictures showed in these, but all I know is very uncomfortable.
What about that time when you were in the surf club and you had that very big day where the sandbank or something got washed away and you and the other lifesavers saved so many people, a lot of
There
people.
was Jeff Tyrrell, a couple of others and me.
How many people did you save that day when you were a lifesaver?
There were 23 altogether saved that day. Mainly by Jeff Tyrrell, another bloke and me. I was the offsider. Every Sunday was really busy on when the sun was out, and mostly you could rely on Sundays being Sundays.
Mm. Was there anything unusual about the tide or the swell or anything that day?
Now what had happened on that day was there was calm and then the sea rolled back into the ocean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that seemed very calm. Then a big wave built up and it flushed up the beach and came back in, back down. And what it did, the people who were sheltering underneath the piers were washed out and they had to be rescued. And a lot of them shouldn't have been there anyway. And a lot of the people in the water shouldn't have been there because it wasn't between the flags.
Right.
There could have been a lot less rescues.
Yeah.
And from there on, they blew up the piers and got rid of them because it was too dangerous to swim there, you know.
Yeah.
And that's when they covered the beach with barbed wire, and you had to go down to the beach, you had to go through a pathway of barbed wire all the way down to the water and follow instructions.
So you loved your grandfather. You
Yeah.
were close to your grandfather.
Well, he used to, every morning he'd go up, he had a truck coming up the road. He used to park around the back of my grandmother's and go down the hill and turn around and come up the front hill. He used to wave to me every morning. But this particular morning he went to work and these young fellas who were supposed to, they had out on Botany Road, on the way to Mascot, they had like where they sold steel rods and things like that, and they were supposed to climb on these things and stack the rods, and he wasn't satisfied with what they were doing, so he climbed on and the whole thing collapsed on him and killed him. And of course I was waiting every morning for him, and he wasn't there, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he wasn't my legal grandfather. He was a substitute.
The step grandfather.
Step grandfather, yeah.
Yeah.
But Pop,
Yeah.
he was the one that came over. They gave him, I don't know if it was new teeth or new glasses. No, it was teeth. That's why, because I laughed at him. And he threw them on the ground and stood on them.
Oh.
And said, "They're no good to me."
Who was the one that had the glass eye?
Oh, I think that was on my father's side.
Okay.
My father lived as a boy, and his upbringing was at Chatswood in Sydney. He lived in he owned the house he lived in before he died, and was sold for a lot of money, but nobody got anything out of it. The kids, they rang me and said that he was dying. I said, "Well, let him go,"
Oh,
or something like that. I wasn't very, very comfortable with it,
Yeah.
but he never did anything for us, or the kid, or the family.
You mentioned to me last time I saw you that back then there was no such thing as a child support agency. So your mother had to take it into her own hands.
Oh yes, she used to wait outside his factory,
Yeah.
and she used to have to go and wait outside I think the one in North Sydney, or Chatswood, I think, Chatswood.
Yeah.
She used to wait outside to try and get some money off him to pay the rent
on payday.
on payday, and he'd back out in his big car and hand us so much money, little money as He'd be busy, he was going out that night, probably.
You were offered a chance to go to law school.
Oh,
Can you
I'd
tell me
go
about
to a
that?
lawyer.
Yeah.
I was at Goodyear at the time. One of the bosses there, something Day, I think it was, he said, how would you like to be a solicitor? I said, there's too much study in it. He said, oh yeah, but you could do it. And he took me for an interview down to Pitt Street to a firm of solicitors, and they would have employed me straight away on a learning business, you know. I'd have to go to uni and all that.
And you didn't go ahead with that?
I never jumped it. I should have done it. But I was too interested in becoming the Prime Minister, which I never did.
And what about your stepfather being a policeman?
Yeah, that's him in one of the pictures there with the football team.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, he was also a boxer in the police force and fought against very well-known blokes. Strong hand in forming the Newtown Rugby League team, which was the leading team of its day.
Yeah.
His name was Brickell, Garnet Arthur Brickell. He ended up marrying my mother after the divorce of the first one.
Yeah.
And he got you out of some scrapes, didn't he, Dad?
He what?
He got you out of some kind of tricky situations.
Oh, well, he got me out of that terrible Roger Rogerson, who's in jail at the moment
Yeah.
for murder. There was a law that allowed you, if you wanted to go to the toilet, you'd pee on the side of your left-hand wheel of your own car if you couldn't find a toilet. And it was legal to do it, and I did it. Next thing, a hand grabbed me by the arm and the shoulder. It was Roger Rogerson. Next thing I know, I was in the wagon going up to WS police station
Oh, goodness.
under arrest, and my stepfather said, what is he doing here? They told the story. Said, let him go immediately. He'd be doing it on his own car. And he said, yeah, but we're not to know that, are we? Well, you are now. And let me go. I had to walk all the way back to the bloody cross.
It was lucky, I think, to get away from
Yeah,
somebody
gosh.
like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Well,
it, Dad?
he's a terrible man that
Yes.
shot a bloke, just came up behind him at North Ryde and just pulled a gun out and shot a bloke dead. He's a policeman, he's just mad. Roger Rogerson.
Oh, and Dad, you used to tell us about the kind of gambling joints in the city.
Oh yeah.
Tomo's or something like that, was it? Or
Yeah, Tomo's. Well,
where were they? And
well, there's one in Pitt Street between Park and Market Street, where a bloke just came in and over a debt, just shot a bloke dead at the table. And Tomo's were in, I think in King Street. They were notoriously illegal gambling joints. which they flourished, and the coppers knew all about them. They never did anything to them to get rid of them.
Why is that?
Oh, well, there's too much money floating around for the coppers.
Yep.
But, mainly this was caused by underpayment of the coppers by the state government. Underpayment, and you cause criminality, you know, by having underpaid police. Naturally, they're going to get in when there's big money floating around.
Didn't you see some politicians and kind of famous people at the gambling joints?
Yeah, you could go to a gambling joint and guarantee, what's his name? He was the premier at the time.
Was it Askin?
Askin. He used to hang around the gambling joints. I think he owned them, a few of them, but I can't remember the names of them. But there were a few at the Cross, or some at the Cross, some of the city, plenty of them. But I couldn't pick them out by name now. The war ended and the bloke skipped down George Street. There's a famous photo. I remember that happening there.
Yeah.
We were up at Castle Rose Street. We went down, and that was in George Street.
We haven't covered your tennis playing yet either. And you...
I played with some famous people.
Yeah.
I was trying to account for them the other night and I couldn't remember the names of them.
It was Rod Laver, one of them.
Rod Laver. Yeah, the trainer where we used to play for our club in O'Brien. Actually, it was O'Brien and Wellington Street. The tennis courts were in behind those two streets. And the bloke who owned the courts one day came to us and said, "I've got these two blokes over from New Zealand, let them win." And we had this, we could have wished them off the tennis courts if we wanted to. But so we let them win.
But this is going back to your teenage years, isn't it, playing tennis?
We were about 17 to 18, and he ended up winning. The thing in England. What is it?
Oh, Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Jude and I were with the children. We had first of all we had a place in Edgecliff, which was like you know how you have a granny flat down the back of something.
Yeah.
We were behind these other houses at Edgecliff overlooking Hardy rubber. They had a factory down in there.
Right.
Thing, and the kids used to go to kindergarten for me or go to Double Bay School. Then we moved down to New Beach Road, which is in Rushcutter Bay. Jude's mother came back from England, where Jude was educated in England.
Right.
She went to school in like an opportunity class in England. I was at an opportunity class in Sydney.
You had very bright babies too.
Oh yes, very bright.
How many children did you have?
We had 3.
Yeah.
Which was still got Lisa, Joe and Katie within a year of each other. And exactly a year, I'd say, or very close to it anyway.
Busy family there for a while.
Hmm?
Very busy with 3 small children under a certain age.
Oh yeah. Jude was a wonderful mother to them, you know. She was so organised.
Mm.
And I was so busy, like I'd worked as an employee of the company, then I was offered this job with Apeco, first Australian to join them, and I was, well, apparently very successful with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is there an American company?
yeah, they became an American company, and while I was with them, I was offered the managing director of Rank Xerox, which is basically an English company, but I knocked it back. We were in opposition to them. We cleaned them up.
Yeah.
I remember with Bob Hawke in a big hotel at Canberra. He was waiting and I was waiting for a car to pick us up.
How old were you when this happened?
Oh, this is when I was with the Apeco.
Okay.
So I'd be in my 30s.
Yeah.
And Bob Hawke was the promising Prime Minister at the time. He wasn't the Prime Minister at that time.
Okay.
Just about to become one.
Yeah.
And this big Rolls Royce pulled up with a flag on it and everything, and he said, "There's a car probably for you." I said, "No, I think it's for you, it's got the flag on it." And yeah, he got in, drove off and waved, and about 2 weeks later, it was Whitlam. Whitlam was Prime Minister at the time.
So you
We were
might have been in
standing
your
outside
40s.
St Mary's Cathedral, and this car pulled up there. The window came down, and he said, "How's the transport from Canberra going?" It was Bob Hawke calling out to me, you know.
Who remembers?
Standing on the corner. He remembered me. But
These chance encounters.
when he was living behind us in 32 Beach Road, he was living in the units
Golf.
Golf. And I remember one day I just turned around and he and Margaret were standing on the veranda and they waved to us.
That's amazing.
She used to be a champion swimmer.
You were living in Darling Point?
Living in New Beach Road,
Oh yeah.
which is opposite the yacht club and everything.
Oh yeah. How far did you have to go to work each day?
Oh, I just used to go and drive to work in William Street.
Okay. How long did you live there before you moved?
We were there, we went to Waverley, we had a flat at Waverley.
Yeah.
And another one at North Sydney will do, it's close enough to it. And I had an office over there as well.
Yeah.
And then I had another one further up in Willoughby. But mainly I spent most of my working life in the city, because I had an office in MLC building.
Oh, okay.
And
You spent a lot of your working life in and around Martin Place, haven't you?
oh yeah, and we built a factory at DY.
Yeah.
And we were servicing all our machines from there.
Right.
And I had an office there too, but mainly it was mainly servicing our machines, you know, making sure they were going well, and
Yeah.
any new products that came out, we spent a lot of time flashing them around.
Sales was a different thing back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, all ours we'd have to order what I thought was right, or what if a salesman said to me, we're in trouble in the middle market, you know. The bigger ones are all right, but the smaller ones are okay. We need the middle market. And we'd have a late night conference on that. And
You were in a position to actually influence
and
what
I'd
was
order
designed
them.
and manufactured.
Yeah, I'd order them from the States, you know.
Right.
And in the long run, we got Japanese machines as well.
Okay.
In other words, you ran your own business here in whatever the Yanks did. We did better than they did most of the time. But the Yanks are actually, believe it or not, the Yanks are the smartest they make out. A bit slow. They are, really. I mean it. They think they're wonderful, but they need the input from somewhere else all the time.
Right.
Even if it was from Egypt or somewhere.
Okay.
Didn't make it. We'd have conferences everywhere. I had other photos. I remember we went in the oldest restaurant in Rome, and trying to think of the name of it now.
How old is the oldest restaurant in Rome?
Oh, you know,
How far back are we talking?
we're talking about the steps to it were curved out by your feet,
Oh wow.
you know.
So going back generations.
Generations.
Yeah.
And I remember a knock on the door, and it was Joseph Cotton, a film star at the time, with his lady. They'd been doing a film there, and he knocked to go to the restaurant, and they were going to shut him out. I said, let him in. And he and I were standing on the table doing some mad dance, you know. But,
So you recognised him, but
I recognised him straight away, yeah. But Joseph Cotton.
Joseph Cotton.
Well, he used to lots of pictures. He was doing a film at the time with Joseph Cotton, Orson Welles.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Orson Welles. All old timers now.
So the red wine went down that night, did it?
Oh yeah, plenty of it. And
sounds like fun. Your work gave you a lot of opportunity, but it also took you on spontaneous kinds of adventures, didn't it?
oh yeah, well, in the long run, my wife and I separated, and but we've always been good friends.
Yeah. How long were you together?
Oh God! All through the kids. They didn't know we were separated, you know, because I was always there.
Yeah.
I'd be there most nights for dinner or something, and most weekends I'd take them somewhere.
Working in this business environment is, often under pressure to, sell and profit and all that stuff. But then there was this other side of you that was an activist and a, strong belief in human rights, and you took part in protests.
Oh yes, also Vietnam. I was against all that business, and my mother-in-law lay on the floor in Oxford Street to stop the Premier Arthur Askin with the Yank. What was his name? Johnson, coming around in a big open car.
Oh my goodness.
And Askin, as the Premier, New South Wales, saw them lying on the road, and he said, run over the bastards.
How many were there?
That was the Premier.
How many people were taking part in that protest?
Oh, hell of a
Lying down.
lot. You know, the whole street was covered with protests, you know.
Yeah.
But run over the bastards.
For anyone that's been born since then, can you describe as concisely as you can, I know it's complicated, but why were people protesting the Vietnam War?
Well, they didn't want us to be involved in another war, and it was a war of that wasn't declared, you know, like it was Vietnam was being suppressed by the Chinese and the Americans on either side. Like every war that's on now is through the United States. Like everything that's happened in the Far East and everything like that, you'll find that the Yanks are there.
Yeah.
And the soldiers don't know what they're fighting for, got no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just think that's just what you do.
Orders.
Mm.
Mm. Was the anti-Vietnam movement was it the younger generation, or was it
was both.
Across all ages?
Both, you know, you get a group out of the older ones, but the young ones are in it. A lot from university. Late, you know, the majors, you know, schools are getting ready to go to uni and all that. They were all had their ideas on it.
Yeah. Majority
of them were against the war, and it wasn't really a war. It was the French. All Vietnam and that was run by France. All Vietnam got involved, and they protected their own country, and the Yanks, they had to get out of there. In the end, they had to they flew in planes and took all the people out of there because they were people were involved that shouldn't have had anything to do with it. But there's a lot of underground, like channels under the Hanoi and all that.
Physically under the ground?
Under the ground. And they were living in under there and coming up of a night and fighting the Yanks.
Oh, really?
Mm. It was dreadful.
Yeah.
Little kids and had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. There was a point where you're taking part in a protest and then your work life collided a little bit on one awkward occasion. Did you want to tell me about that?
Oh yeah, I was coming up George Street with coming up George Street outside the town hall to turn into Park Street.
Yeah.
And I was at an apartment owned by Jim Verge, who owned Red Leaf Pool and donated it to the Wara Council. A beautiful home next door to the Fairfaxes. And so I saw them coming up thing, and I just stood in front of the TV with my coat and everything, so they didn't see it was me.
Because you were there with your work cohort in the room.
All right wingers. And I was there with my coat spread out across the front of the TV set so they wouldn't see me. They said, "Oh, get out of the way." I said, "What for? What do you want to see that for?" Anyway, there were a couple of occasions on those sort of things. I can't think of the other ones, but that one stood out. Oh, I used to get into arguments with, if you brought the subject up, sometimes, you know, you couldn't let it go without saying something about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had young blokes that worked for me, even when I had the shops in Windsor and that never had a quid to bless themselves with. Any money they earned, they'd spend like rockets.
Yeah.
And next thing they were around borrowing money from me. It's crazy. Kelly, you were a visitor.
Yeah, oh yeah, you just get it out of the machine.
What did
Let us know when you want another.
What did the machine say?
Well,
It didn't
obey me because I'm not good at reading instructions. I think that's the thing you do as a last resort.
It's going to get to a stage where you won't have to ask for anything. It'll all be machines.
Yeah.
Not too long either.
Yeah.
Nobody will have any money.
Mm.
But we'll have our credit card.
Hopefully. God.
Is that something you thought about when you were selling the first sophisticated office equipment?
Mm.
Did you think about that all the way back then? That this is the start of technology starting to...
Well, I knew it would expand.
Yeah.
All the time, you know, and every week there was something happening. Somebody had come and try us, flog us from manual sort of operations.
Yeah.
Now, for instance, the adding machine was all manual.
An adding machine.
Just an adding machine, like in other words, you've got to do an invoice for somebody.
Yeah.
So you do it on the adding machine, which produces a roll of paper.
Yes.
And then you pull the handle for every action.
Okay.
Like you might have $1.60 or $1.80.
Yeah.
Each one here.
I'm
Takes
37. I've only ever seen those on TV. There are kids watching this video that will never have heard of anything like it. So
Yeah.
this is really interesting to
Yeah,
us.
$1.80 or something. Okay, now that's $3.40 already because you put two entries in.
Yeah.
$1.60 and $1.80 or something. And pull the handle each time.
Yeah.
Now it's so quick.
Yeah.
You don't even do it with a... The first of the computers were enormous things, like the first one in Commonwealth Bank in Sydney.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it took the whole floor up in the basement of the Commonwealth Bank.
It was amazing.
It was the whole floor of all the computers that are huge. I mean to say that television set there would be minute compared to the screen on these things, and these great big rolls of paper going around it. Oh,
Yeah.
I nearly died when I walked in there just to see it, you know.
Yeah.
But, and then all the banks used to use that one computer at one time.
Oh, right.
And then gradually it all started in Martin Place, so they'd give the Commonwealth up the road to be or across the road to be Queensland Insurance or something, all the way up Martin Place, up Pitt Street, all feeding off this one machine. And gradually it was just hopeless. It was too slow.
Right.
And they'd gradually they got to units for each person or each bank.
That kind of tells us how expensive the technology was too, doesn't it? Because if each bank couldn't really afford their own,
No, they couldn't.
that means it must have been
It
so
cost a
expensive.
fortune for this big thing that went in there,
Yeah.
and each one were paying to use it. Where the big one was in the Commonwealth Bank, upstairs were offices of the federal government,
Oh.
feeding off it as well.
Isn't that interesting?
Remember in the lift one day when, I don't know who it was Ben Chifley or one of the Prime Ministers, tapped me on the shoulder alone, and he'd been there a week. And he said, "How are you going with your job, you know?" I was only what do you call it, giving out letters and that
Oh, you're in the mail room, that's
in the
right.
mail room.
Yep.
He asked me how tapped me on the shoulder, didn't know who he was.
It was Ben Chifley, Dad.
It
It was Ben Chifley.
Ben Chifley.
And he knew your name, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he said, "Ken, how you going?" Yeah, you know. I found out later it was Ben Chifley. But then I went into the selling of computers and that, and but they're all manual sort of things.
Yeah.
To start, and every now and then they'd bring in something new for us to learn. God. And people would say, "Oh, this is going to be too much. Nobody will buy these." And I wasn't of that thought. I said, "You got to get out and sell them."
Would you say you were probably more forward thinking than most people around you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
What about that fax machine though, Dad?
Which was that?
Remember that person wanted you to buy the fax machine, or they wanted to sell the fax machine?
Oh, that was IBM.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted me to they wanted me to take over their IBM and sell their fax machines and that. And I thought they were a little bit before time.
Right.
It,
The market wasn't ready, or is that what you mean?
it took a while for them to get on the... Maybe I should have gone into that earlier, but yes, there's time for everything, you know. If you rush in, you might muck up the whole damn thing. Most of the companies were very slack, but the company I was with, Apeco, was in its field. It was probably ahead of most of them, because they were. We were always bringing out new machines to try.
Yeah.
And like Rank Xerox, it was our opposition. We cleaned them out of Sydney. They were all on a rental basis. We were selling our machines, smaller. Yeah. In other words, you could put 2 or 3 machines in to an office.
Yeah.
Which means there's no waiting to use them.
Oh.
They had their problems.
Yeah.
But the fact is that you got 3 machines there. 2 of them are going to be working all the time, or one of them is going to be working, whereas Rank Xerox had each machine was huge.
Right.
It would take up the area of that window and out to here, sort of thing.
Wow.
They did the job very well, but you'd have a queue of people waiting to use them.
Not practical.
And
Yeah.
they couldn't afford it. They were on a rental basis. They couldn't afford to buy them.
Yeah.
So we just slipped under them, sold the machine to small ones. That didn't work all the time, worked sometimes. But it was interesting to see what the reception was. People were amazed that they could just go and get a copy out of something that normally you'd stand in a queue for.
Yeah.
And then the only reason that company failed, we had operations in 23 countries, and they failed because of greed and money of the upper echelon. Were taking all the dough out of the company and spending it on luxury things, all by me.
Just one moment. You were sales director of Apeco between 1961 and 1973. Have I got that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Do you feel like you were influence on making sure people were treated well?
Oh yeah. I was I looked after my workers very well, and if it was a decision to make, I'd listen to both sides of something. Mostly we got on fairly well with the staff and the management.
Yeah.
But you had to foresee issue if suddenly you found that one side is right and the other side is wrong. So you had to dive in and do your best to find out the truth. But we had a very friendly deal with the service people and ourselves, you know. But and we used to treat them well, like if I had to go overseas or something, they'd go with me. Like the service, so the people who were going to, who would probably place machines with, were getting this. They knew they were getting the whole deal. They weren't mistreated, which is very important. And that's what's wrong with a lot of the companies still today. All they're thinking about is the money, and not really thinking about who is producing it for them. But if they all made efforts to do things like that, it would have helped me in every business, the same as in retail, even like David Jones, and that, fiddling around a few months ago when I walked into David Jones to buy a couple of pair of pants, and I ended up talking to a bloody statue, and I did it deliberately. And the bloke came up and said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Oh yes, you can. You can answer the questions I've asked this person." I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" "It's a statue, no, model." I said, "Yeah, I know that, but the fact is that there was no one on the floor." So I could have just taken the pants and gone home. I said, "You know, look, it's not business. There should be either service people or somebody here to cope. But they're saving money. But they're not, they're losing money. They think they're saving money."
Do you think they got your point?
Oh, I think so. Next time I went there, I bought 2 pair of pants.
From a mannequin or from a service?
Probably a mannequin, I think.
She became a friend of yours for a good long time after that chance meeting.
I used to go there for, just knock on the door, and if she had a boyfriend there or
Yeah.
So I'd go down in the lift
Yeah.
and ring her from the nearest phone box and say I was there.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. You went down in the lift.
How did you meet?
That's where I met her, at the bus stop in near Wentworth Park.
Yeah.
I was going to the dogs,
Yeah.
or the trots.
The trots.
The trots. And I thought I'd just go down and catch the bus.
Yeah.
So he came down, walked down with me, and then he went off. We could see a bus coming on, the bus went straight past.
Oh, no.
And then she pulled up, her and her friend pulled up in this big Humber car and said, I wonder, young man, can you tell me how to get to Whitworth Park Trots? I said, I'm going there myself, I just missed the bus. She said, that's probably my fault, because I drove past it, that's right.
Oh.
And she said, hopped in there, and her little, terrible little puppy tried to bite me, I think. But anyway,
What was your first impression of her?
it's just a sophisticated old girl.
Mm.
I knew she had plenty of dough. She wanted to have. I was talking about two trotters I was going out to back,
Yeah.
and she said, I'll have 50 on her both.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I thought, God, I'm only going to have $10 on them both. And anyway, they both won. I said, well, you better check on your car because it got hit by in the back by a tram going to Wentworth Park. They dug up the road for the new tram line, and the tram came through and she went into the wrong place. Mm. When you drive, you don't drive where they're fixing tram lines for trams. And the tram hit the back and broke one of the tail lights. And so she just gave me the keys. Said, would you mind? I had suggested I'd go have a look at it, and she said, oh, here's the keys. Just get in, whatever's wrong with it, just park it somewhere else. And I did, you know, like I'm a complete stranger.
Yeah, she trusted you straight away.
Anyway, we drove home that night with her and a friend who was actually a French actress.
Oh, okay.
Pretty well known at the time.
Mm.
And we had a couple of drinks at her place, and then on the Saturday she said, that was a Friday night, and she said, why don't you come round tomorrow and we'll have a couple of bets on the horses.
Oh, yeah.
And I did, and I used to do it every Saturday.
Maybe she was a little lonely and needed a friend.
Oh, she had the... yeah, possibly, but mainly I think her and the old girl with the mint coat on, the French actress, they used to go out for lunch every day somewhere in the city.
Yeah. What were you doing in your last paid job?
Well, that was Clark Rubber, really.
Okay.
I decided to leave it and finish up work, and then I got offered a job in running a pub for another friend of mine.
Yeah.
They own a few pubs, and they want me to. I ran the Fitzroy for them when they went overseas. And I also ran the Macquarie Arms for them when Johnny Ross went overseas. I ran that for them.
For someone to leave their business in your hands, you must be.
Well, they know that I know what I'm doing when I don't have to be taught to get into it.
Yeah.
You know,
It sounds like you enjoyed the pubs too.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of friends there, you know.
Yeah. Is that what impacted on you to be passionate about rights at work and that whole labour direction, or was it just a combination of a few different things?
Oh yeah, my grandfather was mainly steel stuff and that,
Yeah.
and he owned a metal business.
Yeah.
He had his grandkids working for him, some of them, and he used to go and stick his nose in and do the work anyway himself, and it killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wondered, I went home after you told me that story, and you know, so much of that unionism is based on, you know, ensuring people are safe in the workplace and blah blah blah. So I wondered if there was a connection with that, or if it was just generally all Labor values that had made you such a loyal Labor voter.
A lot of people, you know, a lot of people owe a lot to unions, you know, and more than they think they do, because they, a lot of them would be dead by now if it wasn't for the unions. But you know, safety regulations and things like that, because dreadful things were happening. Oh, that'll be, she'll be right. Don't worry, just put another wall over there. Don't worry, it's only one brick wide, or something, you know, something where you should have two.
Yeah.
What they've successfully done is to separate the people from each other, you know, making people frightened of unions, that unions are going to reef the money out of them and all that. But well, they've allowed it to happen on the other side. Like there's people working now for $5 an hour where they should be getting 15 or 20. People don't understand it. They just read what the Daily Telegraph tells them. And the Daily Telegraph tells so many lies, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Matter of fact, if you go through the Telegraph, you could go for 14 pages and find no news that is worthwhile.
Yeah.
And maybe one page of news might cover the lot. And they go crooked to Herald. The Herald at least has some pages of news in it.
Yeah.
But and they keep most of their ads to the back of the paper.
Yeah.
But
how has media changed for you in your lifetime? What changes have you seen in the way news is presented?
well, I'd rather have Channel 2 or look for something offbeat, you know, like 7-2 or something.
Yeah.
I'd be looking for something that interests me only, or interested in the development of things. You've only got to go to the news agency. There's a stack of telegraphs for sale and about 3 or 4 heralds, you know, which is sad really. But I see our mother Fairfax now is selling her place next door to Redleaf Pool. They're selling her place at the moment. She'll probably go and live in an apartment in Potts Point or something and die there.
Yeah.
Poor old bugger. I mean, rich old bugger, but
Yeah.
but you know, she'll be forgotten. Whereas, you know, like the bloke who has the Telegraph, owns newspapers in England and America, he couldn't care less about Australia at all. His only interest in his making more money. It's the same as, what's his name, with his Crown Casino. I know they nearly killed me, nearly ran over me outside the old Astra Hotel. I was just crossing the road after having breakfast there, and I'm crossing and that buff-headed son was driving out of his house. Now there's
The Packers.
yeah, Frank Packers was the old man.
So you got tapped on the shoulder by Ben Chifley. You grabbed a car each with Bob Hawke and then saw him outside St Mary's Cathedral. Then nearly got run over by a packer.
Well, Packer, what he did to me, I'm crossing the road and he's looking to the left and I'm coming from the right.
Yeah.
I'm in the yellow crossing. And he just drove straight at me. Then he realised and he stopped and I banged on his bonnet. Banged on his bonnet and I said, please look where you're going. And of me lying there and you in jail if you hit me. Anyway, he was apologetic. But you know that Australian boy who's doing very well in America now, he played in, looked a bit of a buff to me, but he's done very well, he's a multi-millionaire now.
An actor? Or a musician?
He's got another brother who...
Oh, the Hemsworths?
Liam, yeah, Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I met him in the foyer of there, and just by accident somebody introduced him to me, and I thought, he doesn't look so smart. He's smart enough, but he looked like a bit of a buffhead, you know. But he's done very well for himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And his brother's doing well for himself.
Yeah. How did you come to choose to live in the Hawkesbury and move here?
Well, what we did, we were bought out from Darling Point by the owners of the building. They bought us out.
Right.
Gave us money to get out, in other words. They wanted to do them up and
Right.
put garages underneath and all that. Went back up and got our place back at Edgecliff. We decided to build a weekender up somewhere. So we went driving around and we drove up to Windsor.
Yeah.
And we saw this for sale sign at Freeman's Reach. And
What was your first impression of the area?
well, I thought, first of all, oh God, I can't stand this. There's nothing to do here. Anyway, we end up buying a block.
Yeah.
I think it cost us $90 or something. Something terribly cheap. And but from there we've expanded to 3 1/4 acres.
Right. Roughly what year? Do you remember what year we're talking about here?
Well, I remember what
How old you were, maybe?
um,
Just give us a rough ballpark.
God.
The kids were how big?
Oh, they were at school.
Okay.
They went to Freeman Street School.
Yeah. How big was it? How
From
many
Double
kids?
Bay. They were at Double Bay School.
They went to
And
Freeman.
Took her up to took them up to thing and introduced them to the locals, the headmaster.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa would have been about, she's 60 now,
Yeah.
so she would have been about 12 or something.
How many kids were at the school about? Was it a big school or was it little?
No, only a few.
Yeah. Were they all together in one class?
No, I think they had a few classes.
Oh, okay.
Now the school's gone, they built there's a high school up there now,
Yep.
Freeman's Ridge. Yeah, the kids had, they did very well actually.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Well, not terribly good teachers, but still, they did quite well. But only through their own achievements, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so but you were still working in the city too, and you had to go back and forth.
Oh yeah, I used to drive down from up here. We ended up building, starting, instead of just building a weekend, we built a double-storey place,
Oh, okay.
which Jude's still in it.
Yep.
And we're only discussing the other day putting a hot water, not a hot water, a heating thing in there
Oh, yeah.
for the 2 stories.
Yeah.
Joe, my son, makes most of the decisions on that because he seems to know more about it than I do. And just to give comfort to Jude, you know,
Yeah.
in her old age, you know. But she's terrific. She's terrific with the kids
Yeah.
and terrific with the grandkids. They all love her, you know. But she knows how to handle children.
Yeah.
But anyway, they got to handle me.
Standing on that property, that same property, is a famous bus or a truck. What did we call it in the end?
It's a caravan, really.
Right.
It's a conversion from a truck to a caravan,
Yeah.
and it's called Hot Dolly.
I can't remember exactly, but I think it might have been something like £200, although that's an awful lot of money in those days. Maybe it was less. But they built it themselves, and spent a lot of time at Coal and Candle Creek and Palm Beach.
And the Hot Dolly is the name, the hand that goes out, it's a mechanical hand to tell you to turn to the right or park. He used to, I suppose he'd nibbled things from there all the time, turned it into a caravan. And I remember I went down to Bondi. I bought it from him one Saturday. I remember he was describing things to us. He said, "You'll notice there's 2 bolts together." He said it gives it double the strength. There's a bolt to hold this together, there's another bolt next to it to hold that together. I didn't know what was going on.
You want to look in?
Sure.
The rats have been in there and everything.
Yes, it's fine.
They're
Yeah.
not there now.
I'm curious.
Well, just be careful. It's got. That's an ice chest down there. There's a pump with the water in there and a little sink over there. And down the end was the section where you could convert it into a double bed and just wardrobes on the side and everything, you know. And that was the skylight.
Anyway, I bought it with the double bolts, and the brakes wouldn't pull you up unless you had a caravan behind you pulling you up. But I
So the
remember,
plan was to take the family on.
oh, we used to go everywhere. We used to go up to Hawkesbury, and down these hills and down the coast and
With brakes that didn't entirely work.
rockstairs, hopeless.
And went down to Hawkesbury and places, and all the drives were pretty hair-raising.
But everyone has lived to tell the tale, obviously, so you must have been able to wrangle it pretty well.
It's still there, but just lying on flat tyres and everything, just outside the house itself, really.
Yeah.
Between the house and Joe's workshop, he's got his music thing there, and then if you go along a bit further, there's what we call the shed, which we made for Katie and her husband.
Yeah.
They live in that,
Okay.
and they share the main things with the house, toiletry and
Yeah.
hot water and all that business,
Yeah.
and the kitchen.
So I'm guessing everybody has a pretty deep connection to this property because it goes so far
Oh
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and we'd actually, when we brought it up, we didn't put it on there first, we put it on friends of ours further along, and until we were able to put a fence around the property,
Yeah.
and then we moved in there. We stayed in that for a while,
Yeah.
and then built the house around next door to it. But, and then I used to go drive from there to my office down in DY.
Yeah. What was that drive like before the M2 and the M7?
Dreadful,
It was dreadful even back then.
dreadful. and we used to do shopping, everything originally in Windsor or into Riverston.
Yeah. Let's teach the kids what it was like to do the family shopping each week.
Well, you did a lot of it in Riverston, and
What was it, Rivo? Fruit and veggies, was it?
just like a big grocery shop or something.
Okay.
Then they opened up South Windsor after they built a lot of houses down there, mainly for the Air Force.
I see.
The Air Force built houses there.
Because there's a deli there now, and there's all those essential shops, the newsagent, bakery, deli, takeaways, and what was there then?
They gradually built shops along, like for local shops, and
Yeah.
some of them built and closed up very quickly.
It's pretty prosperous, that little strip of shops there now.
Well, South Windsor's more prosperous than Windsor itself. Windsor's dead as a doornail now.
You were at
Because-
Clark Rubber in Windsor.
Clark Rubber and I also did part-time.
Oh, okay.
Part-time for a mate of mine who owned a pub.
Yeah.
I used to go and help him on a weekend and that. And
You've pulled a few thousand beers, haven't you?
oh yeah, and I had a thing outside the pub selling sausages on rolls with a queue a mile bloody long on a Sunday.
You can sell anything, can't you?
Sell anything, yeah.
Because you were an employee, but you still have quite a entrepreneurial spirit, don't you?
Oh yeah, well, and they all, even today these days, I can't recognise some of the blokes. They all recognise me. But
Which pubs in the Hawkesbury have you worked in?
originally was the Macquarie Arms,
Yeah.
and then later the Fitzroy,
Yeah.
and also the little one, the one on the corner of Johnson Street. The
Down George Street.
I think it's called
I've forgotten myself.
it's just one street down.
Oh, just a little
Just a
bit
little-
further down.
On the way down to Coles.
Yeah, I've forgotten too. I'm
It's-
sorry, whoever's
I think they
listening.
call it the Rex.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's changed.
Well, a mate of mine had him, and one had claimed, one had do something, and the other one had come and say, "Would you help us for a while?" All right, okay.
Hey, do you remember when George Street was open to traffic all the way through?
Yeah.
Would you say it would prosper once again if they opened it up again? Because there was talk of that.
Well, there, there was chances of, if they did, it'd be better to open it up as a one-way,
Yeah.
without any doubt, because the parking here is so useless and so dangerous, you know.
Yeah.
You're driving up there and somebody's liable to open the door.
Yeah.
Either the driver or somebody in the back would open up to get a packet of wheat bix out or something. And bang. And that's actually one Sunday, I mean, there was a member of the Parliament in Canberra. They were just going out for a drive.
Yeah.
He came up the road and ran into somebody's door. And he was most apologetic
On George Street.
and gave the card, send me the bill, you know.
I wonder if anyone else remembers that. That's
Looks so funny, but you know, people don't think either.
Yeah.
You know, they just open the door and she'll be right. She'll be right while somebody's cut their arm off or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wondered, to someone that's good at spotting opportunity and, you know, good with markets and business and stuff, what you know, a lot of locals are always talking about how Windsor's died and, you know, there's so many empty shops, so I just wonder what your professional opinion would be, like what would fix that?
Well, I reckon there was one-way traffic, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Perhaps on the way down,
Yeah.
which would open up further, would help everybody on, even in South Windsor.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't think, like we had a mayor here who was absolutely hopeless. Absolutely hopeless.
How far back are we talking?
I'm talking about the one before that's here now.
Oh, yeah.
There's a girl here, a woman here now, Mrs. Bucket. But there was another one before that.
Kim Ford.
Hmm?
Kim Ford.
Yeah. It's hopeless. And they found a drawer full of requests which he did nothing about. Complaints and all that, including a couple from me.
Yeah.
So stupid, you know, like people were falling over in the street, tripping on the bricks.
Yeah.
And as soon as she got in, she did a lot of cementing of the things, which is good.
She's a good egg.
But she's doing quite a reasonable job, you know,
Yeah.
with the lack of money and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one time there when the floods were on, before the actual bridge was built down from the Jolly Frog.
Yeah.
And I remember they'd just put a new bottle department in, but they forgot to bolt it to the ground. And the bottle department sailed down to the hearth, down to the river. Just went floating by.
There've been a few floods in your time here,
Oh
hasn't
yeah.
there?
Well, I remember times I'd be going down to Sydney, I'd get behind a truck and hope that he went through fairly quickly so it spread the water and I didn't get it on my bonnet.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'd just get out at McGrath's Hill and she'd start to cough a bit then.
Oh.
But I'd get to work. But
Oh no.
by the time I'd get to work, she was hot enough. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, there were times when you couldn't leave Freeman's Reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the mood in the community when there was a big flood on? How would you describe everybody's mood or attitude or?
Oh, they all do what they did. They just timed themselves and they did things for other people. You know, they'd go and do the shopping and
Yeah.
they're all helpful.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a woman in here now, one of the reckless of the family. That was her name.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that she's a reckless person.
No, and her name is
Okay.
Gertie Records, Reckless.
Okay.
But she remembers Lisa, and
Oh.
when Lisa was tended to her when she was in hospital.
Yeah.
But and we remember her kids and everything. Her husband's name was Kenneth.
Yeah.
Same as mine. But they lived up on the top part of Windsor, Freeman's Reach, called Reckless Corner.
Oh, okay. So not after the driving,
No,
but after the family.
And the family. What's it say? David Jones.
It says Labor Party, Sid Sid Enfield at Bondi Junction.
Say it again.
She's written Labor Party, comma, Sid Einfeld.
Sid Einfeld. Yeah.
Einfeld?
He was the
Bondi Junction.
state member for state government, Labor.
Yeah.
Sid Einfeld.
So today, today's equivalent, what, with Luke Foley?
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Did you meet Sid?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I met them all. But my grandmother was, she'd only have to mention that she couldn't get up the stairs outside the place at Bellevue Hill, and next thing they'd be in there putting stairs up for her.
Oh, that's nice.
And
So you're a member of your local branch then, and consider yourself a unionist?
oh yeah, I was.
Yep.
It was very important, really, to get in either side of politics when I was growing up, because it was terribly important. You see, for instance, at the moment, they've got this business about, getting married with men and women.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it?
Marriage
Same-sex business.
Yep.
Well, to me, I don't care if they do or not, but I voted yes. But the only thing is, what's going to be happening as soon as they'll bring a movie out or something about something, people say, oh, I saw them going into what's that dirty movie or something, you know. You don't know whether it'll create the good things or the bad things. It depends on the way the promotions of things go on, you know.
You mean the discussion that goes on
Yeah.
at the same time as the issue being in the news? And is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll, to me, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy whatever they do, but it's none of my business anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of money being spent on things like that at the moment, which to me, I think, I just spent 122 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, little dips out of that for education, medicine, schools.
Yeah.
They should be coped with quicker, you know.
Yeah.
Put money into those sort of things. And it's terribly important. There's so many things to do in government, and all these things are being left behind.
Yeah.
They're not being done. And the funny part about it is that Malcolm Turnbull originally applied to the Labor Party to join them, and he was a best friend of Paul Keating.
Yeah, yeah.
And Paul Keating said, "No, you can't join." He said, "You're too rich." And he's a multi-millionaire, you know.
Yeah.
And he was talking about people donating to the to different things, and his only donation was to the Liberal Party.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it might be nice to pick a school or something. Turnbull turned back to Keating and said, "Well, you're not short of a quid." He said, "No, I know." But he said, "At least I'll spend it on right things for the public," which he did. By coincidence, Katie and I were coming into the main road to North Richmond yesterday, and toot toot on the horn, it was Blake going past. Haven't seen him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But
So how does Blake's music go back with you?
well, what happened is originally Blake he came and lived with us as a boy for a while,
Oh.
and then he's like a cousin to Jude rather than me.
Right.
His father owned the music shop in Darlinghurst, which is probably one of the best in Sydney. Then he bought the shop next door, which was an antique shop. And the trouble is you could never contact him, Tony, because he was in business looking at all the antiques that he owned when he bought the shop.
Oh, right.
And taking home pianos and things like that. But he lives over at what's the little bridge that goes to Manly
The Spit Bridge.
when you come down from
The Spit Bridge?
you come down from Mosman. And there's a bridge.
That'd be the Spit, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, there's a Spit. That's
Yeah.
the Spit Bridge. Yeah, he lives opposite that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a nice spot.
He's got a nice place here, but it's loaded with furniture and guitars.
I bought my very first guitar at Blake's Music and then went on to become a professional musician, so I'm fascinated with this story.
Yeah, well, you would have bought off Blake,
Probably.
probably.
It was probably him that demoed it to me. It was an old, crappy $60 nylon string, but I loved that thing. I just loved it.
Well, he knew his music,
Yeah,
and he's a very good guitarist.
yeah,
He went overseas. He was in Spain for quite a while,
yeah.
and in there, out here, he was teaching Spaniards how to play guitars.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
And he still owns, or Blake ended up buying that building. And was it Blake you dealt with at all?
I just
Yeah,
remember
Blake
a
would
very
be about
friendly
there.
man, and he just played the first few bars of Tears in Heaven to me on this guitar I was about to buy. I was only about 13, but I'd saved up my pennies shoveling horse poo.
I'd say that would have been his father.
It was probably, oh, okay.
Oh, it could be Blake. Blake's
Youngish man. All I remember,
Blake's
he was very
about-
smiley, and he played it for
Oh,
me.
that'd be him. Kate, no, Blake is about 2 years younger than Lisa.
Ah, okay.
And she's 60.
Oh, it was probably him. Yeah, I'm 37
And
I was
he
about 13.
got a lot of bands together to help them, and they earned a lot of money through Blake.
Yeah.
But he's
We all
very-
know Blake's music just as a, you know, we all have known of Blake's music our whole lives, but probably not about Blake himself.
no,
So this
just
is
Blake's
interesting.
music. That's it.
Yeah.
And Blake ended up getting married, and they still live over at Seaforth.
Right.
That's where they are, Seaforth.
Oh, beautiful place.
And I've only been to the place about 4 times. Blake ended up buying it.
So if he was based on the northern beaches, did he establish the business here because of his link with you guys?
With who?
Well, I'm just wondering why, if he was established in Darlinghurst and lived at Seaforth.
Oh, that was the father.
Oh, right.
The
okay.
father. And Blake was at Seaforth, but Blake's father had the Darlinghurst one.
Right.
And I think he had to borrow money from his father, or his father invested for him
Yeah.
up at Windsor, and he did very well there, and very well indeed. And of course Jude, my wife, is an accomplice with the piano. We've got a baby grand, you know.
Okay.
And she can play it. She at the rooms aren't their rooms. A baby grand takes up a lot of space, you know.
It does. Just as a bit of a tangent, do you recall any Maltese residents in the area, any Maltese families in Freeman's Reach at the time? Just because I'm researching that too at the moment.
There were some Maltese people. I can't think of their names.
They were on farms.
Hmm?
They were on farms growing veggies.
There was one at the entrance to the road to Freeman's Reach.
Okay.
There was another one halfway up
Right.
Gorrick's Lane,
Yeah.
and I think there were about 3 or 4.
Yeah. Okay.
They've done all right there.
Yeah. 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 I'm just I'm researching Maltese families in the area, the history of it. So.
They can turn a non-productive place into quite a good productive
Yeah.
deal. They know what to do, you know.
Yeah.
There's one cow there, poor bloody cow, lives by itself. And it has one baby a year, I think.
Yeah.
They take it away. And there's another one on the way. The poor cow's thinking, no, not again. Yes.
My girlfriends and I could all relate to that a bit.
Yeah, here we go again. I was singing in the kitchen at home the other night.